Before we begin, take a slow, deep breath in and gently let it go. If you enjoy calm storytelling that helps you unwind, make sure to subscribe and stay with us until the end. This journey through human evolution is designed to relax your mind, soften your thoughts, and guide you into peaceful rest. There are no adverts, no interruptions, just a quiet stream of fascinating truths carried on a slow and steady voice. Now, settle in. Imagine the Earth, not as it is today, filled with cities and glowing lights, but as it was millions of years ago. Vast forests stretch endlessly across ancient continents. The air is warmer, the world feels wilder, and somewhere within that world, long before humans walked upright, small primates move carefully through the trees. Human evolution did not begin with us. It began with creatures so small and delicate that they could wrap their fingers around thin branches. These early primates had forward-facing eyes, giving them depth perception, an advantage for life in the canopy. Their hands could grasp, their vision sharpened. Slowly, the foundations of something remarkable were being formed. Our story stretches back over 60 million years. After the extinction of the dinosaurs, mammals flourished. In that quieter world, primates diversified. Some adapted to forests, others to open woodlands. Over immense spans of time, subtle changes accumulated. Slightly better vision, slightly larger brains, slightly more flexible shoulders. Evolution does not rush. It does not plan. It simply responds. Millions of years later, in Africa, a branch of primates began to change in ways that would eventually lead to us. The climate shifted. Forests thinned in some regions, giving way to open savannas. For some early apes, life in the trees became less certain. And so, gradually, some began spending more time on the ground. Walking on two legs, what we call bipedalism, did not happen overnight. It emerged slowly. The pelvis reshaped, the spine curved, the legs lengthened relative to the arms. Standing upright freed the hands, and freed hands changed everything. Imagine standing in tall grass, being able to rise above it to see predators in the distance, being able to carry food, being able to hold offspring while moving across open land. These small advantages compounded across generations. One of the earliest known hominins, often called Sahelanthropus, lived around 7 million years ago. Fossil evidence suggests it may have walked upright at least part of the time. Its brain was small, closer to that of modern chimpanzees, yet the position of its skull hints at a shift in posture. Later came Ardipithecus, living over 4 million years ago. This species shows a fascinating mix of traits. Capable of walking upright, yet still comfortable climbing trees, evolution rarely erases the past immediately. It layers change upon what already exists. Then, across Eastern Africa, a group known as Australopithecus appeared. They walked upright more consistently. Their footprints, preserved in volcanic ash at a site called Laetoli in Tanzania, remain as quiet echoes of ancient steps taken over 3 million years ago. Imagine those footprints when they were fresh, soft ash underfoot, a light rain hardening the surface. Two individuals walking side by side, perhaps unaware that their path would be discovered millions of years later. Their brains were still modest in size, but something was beginning to shift. Hands capable of precision grips, thumbs aligned in a way that allowed delicate manipulation. The potential for tool use was growing, and then around 2.5 million years ago, we see clearer evidence of stone tools. Simple flakes struck from larger rocks, sharp edges used to cut meat, scrape hides, or process plants. Tool use did not begin as a grand invention. It began as a practical solution. A sharper edge makes survival easier. With tools came new opportunities. Access to meat provided dense nutrition. Energy-rich diets may have supported the gradual expansion of the brain. Larger brains require more fuel. Evolution is always balancing cost and benefit. The genus Homo emerged. Early members, such as Homo habilis, are often associated with these early stone tools. Their brains were larger than those of Australopithecus, though still far smaller than our own. Their faces were changing. Teeth were reducing in size. The body proportions were shifting toward more efficient walking. Time flows slowly in this story. Thousands of generations pass, landscapes transform, ice ages come and go. Around 2 million years ago, Homo erectus appeared. Taller, longer-legged, capable of traveling long distances. This species would become one of the most successful early humans, surviving for over 1 million years. Homo erectus was likely the first to leave Africa. Fossils found in Georgia, Indonesia, and China reveal a species adaptable to many environments. Imagine ancient humans walking across unfamiliar terrain, guided only by instinct, curiosity, and necessity. With Homo erectus, we also see more advanced tools. Hand axes carefully shaped on both sides. Symmetry appears. Planning becomes more visible. And perhaps most transformative of all, fire. Evidence suggests that early humans learned to control fire hundreds of thousands of years ago. Fire provided warmth, protection, light in the darkness. It allowed food to be cooked, making nutrients easier to digest. Cooking changes biology. Softer food requires less chewing, smaller teeth, smaller jaws. Energy saved from digestion may have supported brain growth. Imagine a small group gathered around flickering flames, shadows dancing on stone walls, stories perhaps beginning in gestures and sounds. The night no longer entirely hostile. As brains expanded, social complexity increased. Cooperation became vital. Raising offspring required time and shared effort. Humans are born helpless compared to many animals. Long childhoods meant prolonged learning. Learning shapes survival. Over time, vocal abilities refined. The structure of the throat and the position of the larynx gradually shifted, allowing a wider range of sounds. Language would eventually emerge as one of the most powerful tools of all. But that lies further along in our journey. For now, picture early humans moving across open plains, crafting tools beside rivers, sharing food, watching the horizon. Evolution is not a ladder. It is a branching tree. Many human species lived simultaneously. Some interbred, some disappeared, each adapted to its moment in time. And eventually, one lineage would continue. As you rest and let your mind drift through these ancient landscapes, remember that every cell in your body carries the imprint of this long history. Your hands echo the grasp of tree-dwelling primates. Your spine reflects the shift to upright walking. Your mind carries the legacy of countless generations who survived, adapted, and passed life forward. In the next part, we will continue gently forward, exploring the spread of early humans across continents, the meeting of different species, and the quiet innovations that shaped who we are today. For now, breathe slowly. let the story settle. And if you would like to continue this calm journey through human evolution, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the next chapter to unfold when you are ready. Before we continue, take another slow breath in and gently release it. If this calm journey through human evolution is helping you relax, make sure you're subscribed so you can return whenever you need a peaceful escape. There are no adverts here, no sudden interruptions, just a steady, soothing exploration of our shared past. Now, let us continue. Picture Africa nearly 2 million years ago. The climate shifts between wet and dry cycles. Grasslands expand, then retreat. Rivers change course. Survival depends on flexibility. The early members of the genus Homo are no longer confined to dense forests. They move across open landscapes, adapting to new challenges. One of the most significant changes during this period is endurance. Unlike many animals built for short bursts of speed, early humans begin to develop bodies suited for long-distance walking and eventually long-distance running. Longer legs, narrower hips compared to earlier ancestors. Elastic tendons that store and release energy with each step. Imagine traveling for hours beneath the sun, scanning the horizon. The ability to cover great distances opens up opportunities. New water sources, new hunting grounds, new territories. Homo erectus becomes a master of adaptation. Fossils discovered far beyond Africa suggest that these early humans crossed natural barriers that once seemed insurmountable. They moved into Eurasia, adjusting to cooler climates and unfamiliar ecosystems. With each migration, knowledge becomes essential. Knowing where to find food, knowing which plants nourish and which harm, knowing how to track animals across dry earth. These skills are not written down. They are shared through demonstration, memory, and perhaps early forms of spoken sound. Stone tools also evolve. Hand axes grow more refined. Edges become sharper, shapes more symmetrical. Crafting such tools requires planning, the ability to imagine the final form within a rough stone. This capacity for foresight reflects changes within the brain. The human brain does not simply grow larger, it reorganizes. Regions associated with problem-solving, coordination, and social interaction expand. Neural connections multiply. With larger brains comes longer childhood. Human infants are born earlier in development compared to many other mammals. This may be partly due to the narrowing shape of the pelvis required for upright walking. A larger brain cannot fully develop before birth without making delivery impossible. So evolution finds a compromise. Babies are born vulnerable. This vulnerability encourages cooperation. Mothers, fathers, siblings, and extended group members participate in care. Social bonds strengthen. Empathy deepens. Communication becomes increasingly important. Imagine a small group gathered near a riverbank. One adult shapes a stone tool. Another watches carefully, learning through observation. A child plays nearby, imitating movements. Knowledge passes from one generation to the next. At some point, fire becomes more consistently controlled. The warmth allows early humans to move into colder regions. Nighttime becomes a space not only for rest, but for interaction. Firelight may have extended the social day. In the glow of flames, faces are illuminated, expressions become visible, gestures carry meaning. Perhaps this environment encouraged more complex communication. Perhaps storytelling began beside the fire. Simple at first, then gradually more structured. Around 800,000 to 400,000 years ago, new human species appear. Among them, Homo heidelbergensis, a species believed to be a common ancestor of both Neanderthals and modern humans. These humans craft larger tools. They may have built simple shelters. Evidence suggests coordinated hunting of large animals. Cooperation grows more strategic. Imagine the planning required to bring down a large mammal. Individuals must anticipate movements, communicate positions, and act together. Such coordination requires trust. Trust reshapes societies. Over time, different human populations become isolated by geography. Ice sheets expand across parts of the northern hemisphere during glacial periods. Deserts widen, forests fragment. Isolation encourages divergence. In Europe and Western Asia, Neanderthals emerge. Neanderthals are not primitive caricatures. They are skilled, resilient humans adapted to cold climates. Their bodies are stockier, conserving heat. Their noses are larger, possibly warming cold air before it reaches the lungs. Their brains are, on average, as large as, or slightly larger than, those of modern humans. They craft sophisticated tools. They control fire. Evidence suggests they buried their dead, perhaps with intention. Some sites indicate care for injured individuals who survived long after serious wounds, implying compassion within their communities. Imagine a Neanderthal group moving through a snowy landscape. Thick fur clothing protects them from icy winds. They carry wooden spears hardened in fire. Their survival depends on intimate knowledge of the land. Meanwhile, in Africa, another lineage is taking shape. Around 300,000 years ago, early Homo sapiens appear. Fossils from Morocco, Ethiopia, and other regions reveal faces that look surprisingly familiar. High foreheads, smaller brow ridges, more delicate skeletal features. The brain continues to evolve, not necessarily becoming larger, but becoming more complex in organization. Regions associated with symbolic thought and language flourish. Symbolism marks a turning point. At some point, humans begin to create objects not purely for survival, but for meaning. Shell beads with holes drilled through them, pigments like ochre used for decoration. These are quiet signs of imagination. Imagine holding a small shell, carefully pierced and strung onto a cord. It serves no direct survival purpose, and yet it represents identity, expression, belonging. Language likely becomes increasingly sophisticated during this time. Though words leave no fossils, anatomical and genetic evidence suggests that modern humans possess the capacity for complex speech. Language transforms everything. Through language, humans share abstract ideas. They describe events that happened yesterday or may happen tomorrow. They coordinate across larger groups. They transmit cultural knowledge with precision. Culture begins to accelerate evolution, not biologically, but socially. Tools diversify. Hunting strategies become more refined. Fishing appears in coastal areas. Humans adapt to forests, savannas, mountains, and shorelines. Around 70,000 years ago, some groups of Homo sapiens begin migrating out of Africa in significant numbers. They follow coastlines, rivers, and fertile corridors. Over thousands of years, they spread across Asia, into Australia, and eventually into Europe. As they travel, they encounter other human species. In some regions, modern humans and Neanderthals meet. Genetic evidence shows that they interbreed. Today, many people carry small percentages of Neanderthal DNA, silent echoes of ancient encounters. Imagine two groups meeting cautiously in a valley. Different accents, different tool styles, yet similar faces, similar gestures. Curiosity may have mingled with caution. Some species fade over time. Neanderthals disappear around 40,000 years ago. The reasons remain debated: climate change, competition, small population sizes, or combinations of many pressures. By this point, modern humans continue alone. But alone does not mean unchanged. As humans spread across continents, they adapt to new climates. Skin pigmentation varies in response to sunlight exposure. Body proportions shift to conserve or release heat. Genetic mutations arise, some conferring advantages in specific environments. Evolution continues, quietly, within us. As you rest, imagine the long arc of this journey. From tree-dwelling primates to firelit gatherings. From simple stone flakes to symbolic ornaments. From isolated groups to migrating explorers. Every breath you take connects you to that story. In the next part, we will drift further into the cognitive revolution, the flowering of art, myth, and innovation that reshaped the human experience forever. For now, let your thoughts soften. Feel the steadiness of this ancient lineage flowing through you. And when you're ready to continue, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to carry you gently forward. Before we continue our slow journey, take a gentle breath in, hold it for just a moment, and release it softly. If this peaceful exploration is helping you unwind, remember to subscribe and stay with us until the very end. This is a quiet space, free from adverts and interruptions, just a calm stream of stories flowing through deep time. Now, let us drift further. We arrive at a remarkable chapter in human evolution, a period sometimes described as a turning point, though it unfolded gradually, like dawn spreading across the horizon. Around 70,000 years ago, something subtle yet profound begins to change in certain human populations. The brains of Homo sapiens are not dramatically larger than before, but the way they are used seems different. Connections between regions become more intricate. Thought becomes more flexible. Imagination awakens in new ways. Imagine standing at the entrance of a cave. The air is cool. The stone walls curve inward, forming a quiet chamber. A small fire flickers near the entrance, casting soft light deeper into the darkness. And on those walls, shapes begin to appear, hands pressed against rock, outlined in pigment, animals drawn in sweeping lines, bison, horses, deer, captured mid-motion. These are not simple marks. They are representations, symbols of creatures that roam outside. Creating art requires abstraction. It requires the ability to hold an image in the mind and transfer it into the physical world. This suggests not only creativity, but also memory, planning, and shared understanding. These early artists are not decorating randomly. They are expressing something, perhaps stories, perhaps rituals, perhaps shared myths that bind the group together. Symbolic thought allows humans to imagine things that do not physically exist. Spirits, ancestors, future possibilities. With imagination comes storytelling. Picture a group seated around a fire. The flames crackle gently. Sparks drift upward into the night. One individual begins to speak, using gestures and sounds shaped into structured language. The others listen. The story may describe a hunt, or a warning, or a tale of something unseen. Through stories, knowledge travels beyond direct experience. A young listener can learn about dangers they have never encountered. They can understand strategies without facing immediate risk. Culture expands beyond instinct. Language becomes layered. Humans are no longer limited to communicating simple needs. They can discuss emotions. They can negotiate alliances. They can describe events from the distant past or imagine plans for the distant future. Time itself becomes something humans can hold in their minds. This cognitive shift may have supported greater cooperation among larger groups. Humans are unique in their ability to collaborate flexibly with individuals who are not close relatives. Shared myths and shared beliefs create bonds between strangers. A symbol carved into bone, a pattern painted on skin, a shared song echoing across a valley. These intangible connections allow communities to grow. Around this period, humans also develop more specialized tools. Instead of relying only on heavy hand axes, they create lighter blades, bone needles for sewing clothing, fishing hooks, and finely crafted spear points. Each tool reflects foresight. A needle carved from bone allows tailored clothing. Tailored clothing allows survival in colder climates. Survival in colder climates opens new territories. Humans move into Europe in greater numbers. They spread across Asia. Some groups reach Australia, likely using simple watercraft to cross stretches of ocean. This requires planning, cooperation, and courage. Imagine standing on a shoreline, gazing across open water. The horizon stretches endlessly. To build a vessel and trust it to carry you into the unknown demands both ingenuity and belief. Migration is not a single event. It is a slow unfolding, generation after generation, moving outward. As humans enter diverse landscapes, they encounter new challenges. Deserts with scarce water, dense forests filled with unfamiliar plants, icy plains swept by cold winds. Adaptation continues. Skin tones vary as populations settle in regions with different levels of sunlight. In areas with intense sun, darker pigmentation protects against ultraviolet radiation. In regions with weaker sunlight, lighter skin allows more efficient production of vitamin D. These changes occur gradually, shaped by environmental pressures. Diet also influences evolution. In some populations, the ability to digest lactose into adulthood emerges thousands of years later, after the domestication of animals. This is an example of culture influencing biology, a feedback loop unique in its scale. But for now, in this earlier chapter, humans remain hunter-gatherers. They move with the seasons, they follow migrating herds, they gather fruits, nuts, and roots. Their survival depends on intimate knowledge of ecosystems. Contrary to common assumption, early hunter-gatherers may have lived relatively balanced lives. Archaeological evidence suggests that some groups had varied diets and periods of leisure. They were not constantly struggling, but rather skillfully navigating their environments. Social bonds remain central. Burial sites from this period suggest ritual care for the dead. Bodies are sometimes placed with tools, ornaments, or pigments. This hints at belief, perhaps in an afterlife, perhaps in honoring memory. The concept of mortality becomes something humans contemplate. Imagine standing beside a grave, the earth freshly turned. The group gathered in quiet reflection. Grief binds people together. Shared emotion deepens connection. Music may also emerge during this time. Simple flutes carved from bone have been discovered, suggesting that melody accompanied early human life. Rhythm and song could strengthen social unity and transmit emotion beyond words. As populations grow and spread, diversity increases. Distinct cultural traditions form, unique tool styles, artistic expressions, and symbolic practices. Yet all remain connected through shared ancestry. Inside every human alive today lies the genetic memory of these ancient migrations. Small variations in DNA trace pathways across continents. Science allows us to reconstruct these journeys, revealing how interconnected we truly are. No modern human population evolved separately from this shared origin. We are branches of the same tree. As the Ice Age intensifies, around 20,000 years ago, vast glaciers cover large portions of the northern hemisphere. Sea levels drop. Land bridges appear, including one that connects Asia to North America. Small groups of humans cross into the Americas. Imagine stepping onto a new continent for the first time. Endless landscapes stretch before you. No human footprints mark the ground. The silence feels immense. Over thousands of years, humans spread throughout North and South America, adapting to rainforests, mountains, plains, and coasts. Innovation continues quietly. Stone tools become more refined. Hunting strategies diversify. Communities grow more structured. Symbolism deepens. Through all of this, evolution never stops. It simply changes pace. Biological evolution slows slightly as cultural evolution accelerates. Knowledge accumulates faster than genes can shift. Humans begin shaping their environments rather than only adapting to them. But the most dramatic transformation is still ahead. As you rest with these thoughts, picture the arc of this journey, from cave art glowing in far light to migrations across frozen land bridges, from whispered stories to shared myths that hold communities together. Your mind carries the same capacity for imagination that once painted animals on stone walls. Your voice carries the same gift of language that once echoed across ancient valleys. In the next part, we will gently enter the dawn of agriculture, the moment humans begin to settle, cultivate the land, and reshape the planet in ways that will echo through time. For now, allow your breathing to slow. Feel the quiet continuity of millions of years flowing into this present moment. And when you are ready to continue, stay with us subscribe, relax, and let the story of human evolution carry you softly onward. Before we continue, take a slow breath in. Feel your chest rise gently and let it fall without effort. If this peaceful journey through human evolution is helping you unwind, remember to subscribe and stay with us until the very end. There are no adverts here, no sudden interruptions, just a calm story flowing steadily through deep time. Now, let us move forward. For tens of thousands of years, humans lived as hunter-gatherers. They followed migrating animals. They gathered wild grains and fruits. They adapted to landscapes rather than reshaping them. But around 12,000 years ago, as the last ice age slowly loosened its grip, the climate began to warm. Glaciers retreated, forests expanded, rivers swelled with meltwater. The Earth entered a period of relative stability known as the Holocene. Stability changes possibilities. In several regions of the world, humans began experimenting with something new. Instead of only collecting wild plants, they started tending them. Imagine a small group returning season after season to a valley rich with wild wheat. They noticed that seeds dropped near their camp sprout the following year. They begin clearing competing plants. They scatter seeds intentionally. Over many generations, this subtle intervention transforms wild grasses into domesticated crops. The seeds become larger. The plants hold on to their grains rather than scattering them naturally. Evolution continues. But now humans guide part of it. Agriculture does not appear overnight. It arises independently in different regions. In the Fertile Crescent of the Middle East, in parts of China, in Mesoamerica, in the Andes, and elsewhere. Each region domesticates different plants. Wheat and barley in Southwest Asia, rice in East Asia, maize in Central America, potatoes in the Andes. Imagine the patience required to observe plants across seasons, to notice which seeds grow best, to save them for planting again. This is long-term thinking in action. Alongside plants, animals also begin to change. Some species adapt well to living near humans. Wolves that linger near campsites, feeding on scraps, gradually become more tolerant of human presence. Over time, selective pressures favor less aggressive individuals. The wolf becomes the dog. Dogs may have been humanity's first domesticated animal, companions, protectors, hunting partners. Later come goats, sheep, cattle, and pigs. Domestication reshapes both species, humans and animals alike. Imagine the shift from following herds across vast distances to keeping herds nearby. Milk becomes a resource, wool becomes clothing, meat becomes more predictable. With farming and herding comes settlement. Temporary camps evolve into permanent villages. Houses built of mud brick or stone cluster together. Storage pits hold harvested grain. Population density increases. Staying in one place changes society. Food surpluses allow some individuals to specialize in tasks beyond gathering or hunting. Some become toolmakers, others become potters, others focus on trade or ritual leadership. Division of labor emerges. But agriculture is not purely beneficial. While it allows larger populations, it also introduces challenges. Diets sometimes become less varied. Reliance on a few staple crops increases vulnerability to famine. Living close together makes the spread of disease more likely. Evolution responds again. As humans live in proximity to domesticated animals, diseases jump between species. Over generations, human immune systems adapt to these new pathogens. Genetic variations that provide resistance become more common. Culture and biology continue their intricate dance. Settlements grow larger. Villages become towns. Trade networks expand, connecting distant regions. Obsidian from volcanic areas travels hundreds of miles. Shells from coastal regions appear inland. Communication between groups strengthens. Imagine walking into a settlement, buzzing with activity. Clay pots drying in the sun, grain being ground into flour, children running between houses, smoke rising gently into the sky. Humans begin shaping landscapes deliberately. Forests are cleared for fields. Irrigation channels guide river water into crops. Terracing transforms hillsides into farmland. The Earth's surface bears the marks of human intention. This marks a profound shift. For millions of years, humans adapted primarily to natural environments. Now, environments increasingly adapt to humans. Time itself feels different in settled life. Instead of moving with migrating herds, communities organize around planting and harvest cycles. Calendars emerge. Observations of the stars become practical tools for agriculture. Astronomy begins as survival. Watching the sky allows farmers to anticipate seasonal change. Patterns in constellations become markers of time. Myth and science intertwine. Spiritual systems also grow more structured. Permanent settlements allow construction of ceremonial spaces. Stone circles, temples, burial mounds. Imagine standing before an early monument built from massive stones. The effort required to move and position them reflects coordination and shared belief. Such structures signal social cohesion and collective purpose. As populations expand, social hierarchies begin to form. Leadership roles become more defined. Some individuals accumulate more resources than others. Inequality appears. This is not universal at first, but gradually, in many regions, wealth and power concentrate. Conflict over land and resources becomes more frequent. Defensive walls appear around some settlements. Humans, once moving lightly across landscapes, now defend territory. Yet alongside conflict, creativity flourishes. Pottery becomes more refined. Decorative patterns emerge. Textiles are woven with intricate designs. Symbolic art evolves into early writing systems in certain regions. In Mesopotamia, small clay tokens used for accounting gradually transform into cuneiform script. Marks pressed into wet clay represent goods, numbers, and eventually ideas. Writing changes memory. Information no longer depends solely on oral transmission. It can be stored physically, retrieved later, shared across generations with greater precision. The human brain adapts subtly to this external memory system. Literacy reshapes neural pathways. Cultural evolution accelerates further. Imagine holding a clay tablet etched with symbols. Each mark carries meaning beyond sound, a visual representation of thought. Meanwhile, in other parts of the world, societies develop independently. In the Americas, maize cultivation supports growing communities. In East Asia, rice paddies transform landscapes into shimmering fields. Despite geographic separation, similar patterns emerge. Agriculture, settlement, specialization, trade, ritual. This convergence reveals something fundamental about human nature. Given stability and time, humans experiment. They observe, they innovate. Biological evolution slows compared to earlier eras, but it does not stop. Genetic adaptations continue. Resistance to local diseases, variations in metabolism, changes in physical traits shaped by environment and culture. But the most dramatic changes are now cultural. The pace of transformation quickens. Imagine comparing a hunter-gatherer camp from 20,000 years ago to a farming village 10,000 years later. The difference is striking. Permanent structures, stored food, domesticated animals, emerging social complexity. And yet, beneath these changes, the human core remains. We still gather in groups, we still share meals, we still tell stories. As you relax into this steady unfolding of history, picture the first fields of grain swaying gently in the breeze, the first villages glowing under starlight, the first written marks pressed into clay. These were not sudden revolutions. They were gradual transitions shaped by countless small decisions across generations. In the next part, we will move gently into the rise of early civilizations, cities, trade routes, and the deepening complexity of human societies. For now, let your thoughts settle like seeds in fertile soil. Breathe slowly. Feel the quiet continuity between those early farmers and you, here in the present moment. And when you're ready to continue this peaceful journey, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to unfold softly into the next chapter. Before we continue, take a slow, steady breath in and let it drift out gently. If this calm journey through human evolution is helping you unwind, make sure you're subscribed and stay with us until the end. There are no adverts here, just a quiet, flowing story designed to relax your mind and carry you softly through time. Now let us move forward. As agriculture spreads and villages grow, something new begins to rise along fertile river valleys. Cities, not all at once, not everywhere, but gradually, in places where water is reliable and soil is rich, settlements expand beyond small communities. Mud brick houses multiply. Pathways become streets. Storage buildings grow larger. Along the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, early Mesopotamian cities take shape. In Egypt, communities cluster along the Nile. In the Indus Valley, carefully planned settlements emerge. In China, early dynasties form near the Yellow River. Rivers become the lifeblood of civilization. Imagine standing on the banks of the Nile thousands of years ago. The river floods predictably each year, depositing fertile silt across the land. Farmers anticipate the rhythm of the water. Planting and harvesting follow a dependable cycle. Predictability allows planning. Planning allows growth. As populations increase, coordination becomes more complex. Irrigation systems require maintenance. Fields must be allocated. Surpluses must be stored and distributed. Governance emerges. At first, leadership may be practical. Individuals chosen for wisdom, strength, or experience. Over time, authority becomes formalized. Kings and rulers claim divine favor. Political systems take shape. With organization comes architecture. Massive structures rise. Temples, pyramids, defensive walls. These buildings are not merely functional. They symbolize collective identity and shared belief. Imagine thousands of workers hauling stone blocks under the sun, guided by architects and planners. The effort represents social cohesion and hierarchical structure. Writing systems become more sophisticated. Cuneiform in Mesopotamia, hieroglyphs in Egypt, early scripts in the Indus Valley and China. Writing preserves law, trade records, religious texts, and stories. Human memory extends beyond the limits of a single lifetime. Trade networks expand across continents. Spices, metals, textiles, and precious stones move along routes linking distant cultures. The Silk Road, though it will flourish later, has early roots in these exchanges. Ideas travel with goods. Mathematics develops to manage trade and construction. Calendars become more accurate. Astronomy grows increasingly detailed. Imagine ancient scholars observing the stars night after night, mapping constellations, noting planetary movements. Their careful records lay the groundwork for future science. Meanwhile, technological innovation continues. Bronze replaces stone in many regions, marking the Bronze Age. The discovery that copper combined with tin produces a stronger metal transforms tools and weapons. Farming becomes more efficient. Warfare becomes more destructive. Conflict becomes more organized as well. Armies form. Chariots roll across battlefields. Fortifications strengthen cities. Human cooperation, once focused primarily on survival and community, now extends into coordinated competition. Yet, even amid conflict, art and philosophy flourish. Music evolves. Instruments diversify. Poetry is recited in royal courts and village gatherings alike. Epic stories, tales of heroes, gods, and creation shape cultural identity. Religion grows more structured. Temples rise. Priests perform rituals. Myths explain natural events. Floods, storms, eclipses. These stories provide comfort in a world still filled with uncertainty. As civilizations expand, they influence one another. Empires rise and fall. The Akkadians, the Egyptians, the Hittites, the Shang dynasty, the Olmec in Mesoamerica. Each leaves traces. Artifacts buried in soil. Inscriptions carved into stone. Human evolution now expresses itself largely through culture. Biologically, humans remain remarkably similar across regions. Genetically, we are still one interconnected species. But culturally, diversity blossoms. Different languages develop. Unique architectural styles emerge. Distinct cuisines take shape based on local crops and animals. Imagine walking through a bustling ancient marketplace. Merchants call out in multiple languages. Textiles in vibrant colors hang from stalls. The scent of baked bread mingles with spices. Civilization is vibrant, complex, interconnected. And yet, beneath the complexity, the same fundamental human traits endure. We gather in families, we protect our children, we seek meaning, we create stories. Over time, the Iron Age begins. Iron tools are stronger and more abundant than bronze. Agricultural productivity increases. Populations grow further. Large empires form. The Persian Empire stretching across vast territories. Later, the Roman Empire connecting Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. Infrastructure expands. Roads connect distant cities. Aqueducts carry water across miles. Legal systems standardize rules across diverse populations. These developments reflect a powerful feature of human evolution: the ability to organize in large groups of unrelated individuals under shared systems. This is made possible by language, shared belief, and symbolic frameworks. Money emerges as a standardized medium of exchange. Coins stamped with symbols of authority circulate widely. Trade becomes more efficient. Education becomes more formal in some societies. Schools train scribes, philosophers, and officials. Written knowledge accumulates. Philosophical thought deepens. In Greece, thinkers question the nature of reality, ethics, and logic. In India, spiritual traditions explore consciousness and inner awareness. In China, philosophers reflect on harmony, governance, and moral responsibility. Human evolution now includes introspection. Imagine a scholar seated beneath a tree, contemplating existence, or a teacher guiding students through dialogue and debate. The evolution of thought becomes as significant as the evolution of tools. Meanwhile, ordinary life continues. Farmers till fields, craftspeople shape clay, children learn skills from elders, festivals mark seasonal cycles. The rise of cities brings both opportunity and challenge. Urban density increases the spread of disease. Sanitation becomes essential. Public works develop in response. Evolutionary pressures persist. Populations exposed to epidemics gradually develop immunities. Genetic variations offering resistance spread slowly through generations. Even in settled, structured societies, biology and culture remain intertwined. As you relax into this unfolding story, imagine the glow of lanterns in an ancient city at dusk. The murmur of conversation drifting through narrow streets. The steady rhythm of human activity shaped by thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. From small agricultural villages to vast empires, humanity continues to transform its world and itself. In the next part, we will gently move into the era of exploration, scientific awakening, and global connection, a time when the pace of change accelerates once more. For now, breathe deeply, feel the steady thread that connects early river civilizations to the present moment. And when you are ready to continue this calm journey, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to carry you softly into the next chapter. Before we continue, take a long, slow breath in. Feel the quiet stillness around you and gently let that breath go. If this peaceful journey through human evolution is helping you relax, make sure you're subscribed and stay with us until the very end. There are no adverts here, no sudden interruptions, only a calm unfolding story meant to guide you softly toward rest. Now, let us move forward. As ancient empires rise and fall, the world becomes increasingly connected. Trade routes stretch farther, ships cross open seas, caravans move across deserts. Goods, ideas, technologies, and beliefs travel alongside one another. Human societies, once separated by vast distances, begin to brush against each other more often, and with contact comes transformation. Imagine standing on the deck of a wooden ship centuries ago. The sails billow in the wind. The shoreline fades into the horizon. Exploration is no longer limited to neighboring lands. Curiosity and ambition push humans outward across oceans. Navigation improves gradually. Knowledge of the stars becomes more precise. Compasses guide direction. Map-making grows more accurate. With each improvement, the world feels slightly smaller. But this expansion is not without consequence. When populations long separated come into contact, they exchange more than goods. They exchange crops, animals, technologies, and diseases. Epidemics sweep through regions where immune systems have never encountered certain pathogens. Human evolution, shaped for millennia by local environments, now faces global challenges. Yet, adaptation continues. Over generations, genetic resistance spreads in affected populations. The human immune system, one of the most complex systems in the body, reflects thousands of years of evolutionary struggle against invisible threats. Meanwhile, agriculture itself evolves. New crops move across continents. Tomatoes, once grown in the Americas, appear in Europe. Wheat travels in the opposite direction. Potatoes transform diets in entire regions. Imagine tasting a food that did not exist in your culture just decades earlier. The blending of ecosystems reshapes cuisine, economy, and health. As global exchange intensifies, so does intellectual exchange. The Renaissance begins in parts of Europe, a period marked by renewed interest in art, science, and human potential. Artists study anatomy with precision. Scientists observe the natural world with fresh curiosity. This is not the first flowering of knowledge in human history, but it marks a powerful acceleration. The scientific method gradually takes shape. Observation, hypothesis, experimentation. Rather than relying solely on tradition or authority, thinkers begin testing ideas systematically. Imagine a scholar peering through one of the earliest telescopes, observing the moons of Jupiter. The realization dawns that Earth may not be the center of everything. Human understanding of the universe shifts. Printing technology spreads ideas rapidly. Books become more accessible. Literacy expands slowly beyond elite circles. Knowledge, once guarded within small communities, begins to circulate more freely. With each innovation, cultural evolution accelerates. Then comes the Industrial Revolution. Machines powered first by water, then by steam, transform production. Factories rise, urban centers swell with workers seeking opportunity. Transportation changes dramatically. Railways, steamships. Imagine standing beside a massive steam engine, hearing its rhythmic pulse. Human labor, once limited by muscle and simple tools, is now amplified by mechanical force. This shift alters daily life profoundly. Work patterns change. Time becomes structured by factory schedules rather than seasonal cycles. Cities grow rapidly, often faster than infrastructure can support. Population density increases once more, bringing both opportunity and strain. Medical knowledge also advances during this period. Understanding of germs and sanitation improves. Vaccination begins protecting populations from devastating diseases. Life expectancy gradually rises. Evolutionary pressures begin to shift in subtle ways. More children survive to adulthood. Natural selection continues, but cultural and medical innovations buffer some of its harshest effects. Electricity follows, illuminating nights that were once dark. Communication transforms, again with the telegraph, then the telephone. Messages travel across continents in moments rather than months. Human connection expands beyond physical proximity. Imagine hearing the voice of someone miles away for the first time. The world feels closer, more immediate. The 20th century brings both extraordinary progress and immense tragedy. Technological advancement accelerates at an unprecedented rate. Airplanes take to the skies. Radios broadcast across nations. Later, computers emerge. Human creativity reaches extraordinary heights. But global conflicts also demonstrate the destructive potential of advanced technology. Weapons become more powerful. Wars impact entire continents. Through it all, human resilience persists. Scientific understanding of evolution itself deepens during this era. Charles Darwin's earlier insights into natural selection gain genetic confirmation with the discovery of DNA's structure. The double helix reveals the molecular basis of inheritance. Imagine scientists in a quiet laboratory, assembling pieces of a puzzle that explains how traits pass from one generation to the next. DNA carries the record of millions of years of change. Mutations arise naturally. Some confer advantages, others remain neutral. Over time, these small variations accumulate. Human evolution is no longer only observed in fossils. It is read in sequences of genetic code. As medicine advances further, humans begin altering evolutionary trajectories deliberately. Antibiotics combat bacterial infections. Surgical techniques repair injuries that once proved fatal. Public health measures reduce mortality. Nutrition improves in many parts of the world. Cultural evolution now moves far faster than biological change. And then, the digital age arrives. Computers shrink from room-sized machines to handheld devices. The internet connects billions of people. Information travels instantly across the globe. Imagine sitting quietly in one room while accessing knowledge generated thousands of miles away. The scale of shared awareness becomes immense. Human brains, shaped in ancient savannas, now navigate digital landscapes. Social structures transform once again. Communities form across continents. Identities expand beyond geography. Yet, beneath this rapid change, our biology remains rooted in deep time. Our eyes still adjust to light, much like those of early primates. Our hands still reflect the grasping of tree-dwelling ancestors. Our brains still respond to storytelling, connection, and shared emotion. Evolution does not discard the past. It builds upon it. As you relax into this chapter of our story, imagine the quiet continuity from ancient river civilizations to modern cities glowing with electric light. From hand-carved tools to silicon microchips, each step forward arises from countless steps before. In the next part, we will gently explore how human evolution continues today, how genetics, environment, and technology shape our present and hint at possible futures. For now, breathe slowly. Feel the steady rhythm of history flowing through you. And when you're ready to continue this peaceful journey, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to unfold softly into the next chapter. Before we continue, take a slow breath in. Feel the air fill your lungs and gently let it go. If this calm journey through human evolution is helping you unwind, remember to subscribe and stay with us until the very end. There are no adverts here, only a quiet, steady story designed to relax your mind and guide you softly forward. Now, let us explore the present. It is easy to think of evolution as something ancient, something that happened long ago in caves and savannas. But evolution has never stopped. It continues quietly, generation after generation, even now. Human beings today are not exactly the same as humans who lived 10,000 years ago or even 1,000 years ago. Change is subtle, gradual, often invisible within a single lifetime. Consider lactose tolerance. For most of human history, adults could not digest lactose, the sugar found in milk. In early agricultural societies that domesticated cattle and goats, milk became a reliable food source. In some populations, genetic mutations allowed adults to continue producing lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose. Those with this ability had a nutritional advantage in certain environments. Over many generations, the trait became more common in those regions. This is evolution happening within recorded history. Another example lies high in the mountains. Populations living for thousands of years in high-altitude regions, such as the Himalayas or the Andes, have developed genetic adaptations that allow their bodies to use oxygen more efficiently. Their blood chemistry and breathing responses differ subtly from populations living at sea level. These changes are not dramatic to the eye, but they are profound within the body. Even resistance to disease reflects recent evolution. Certain genetic variations provide partial protection against illnesses such as malaria. These traits became more frequent in regions where malaria was widespread. Natural selection continues, shaped by environment. Yet today, environment includes something new: technology. Modern medicine allows many individuals to survive and thrive regardless of traits that once might have limited survival. Cultural systems provide support, food distribution, and healthcare. As a result, evolutionary pressures shift. Selection does not disappear. It simply changes form. Meanwhile, globalization connects humanity more than ever before. People migrate across continents with relative ease. Populations that were once geographically isolated now intermix. Genetic diversity blends in new ways. Imagine the invisible threads of ancestry crossing oceans, weaving together into new combinations. Human variation remains real. Differences in skin tone, hair texture, facial features. But genetically, we remain remarkably similar. The vast majority of human DNA is shared across all populations. We are a young species. Modern Homo sapiens have existed for roughly 300,000 years, a brief moment compared to the millions of years of earlier hominin evolution. And now, for the first time, humans possess the tools to alter their own genetic code intentionally. The discovery of DNA's structure opened the door. Advances in gene editing technologies, such as CRISPR, allow scientists to modify specific sequences within the genome. Imagine holding the instruction manual of life and being able to revise a single letter. This possibility raises profound questions. Should we eliminate certain genetic diseases? Should we enhance physical or cognitive traits? What responsibilities accompany such power? Evolution, once entirely shaped by natural forces, now intersects with deliberate human choice. At the same time, our environment is changing rapidly. Climate patterns shift, urbanization spreads, artificial light extends our days far beyond sunset. Diets differ dramatically from those of our ancestors. Our bodies still carry ancient instincts shaped in environments of scarcity and physical movement. We evolved to crave calorie-dense foods because they were rare. We evolved to respond strongly to social approval because cooperation ensured survival. In modern contexts, these instincts sometimes clash with abundance and digital connection. Imagine early humans walking miles each day, scanning landscapes, engaging face-to-face with their community. Now imagine sitting still before a glowing screen, interacting across vast distances. Our brains are adaptable, but they are built upon ancient architecture. Sleep cycles, stress responses, attention spans, all influenced by evolutionary history. Even our emotional lives reflect deep time. Fear evolved to protect us from predators and danger. Love strengthened bonds within families and communities. Curiosity encouraged exploration. These emotions remain powerful because they were essential for survival. Yet humans are not bound entirely by instinct. Cultural evolution allows reflection. We can study our own evolutionary past and adjust behavior accordingly. We can design cities that encourage movement. We can create social systems that foster cooperation. Self-awareness is one of our most distinctive traits. Imagine the extraordinary moment when a species not only evolves, but understands that it has evolved. Through fossils, genetics, archaeology, and anthropology, we reconstruct our story. We trace migrations through DNA markers. We compare skeletons across millennia. We study ancient tools and art. This knowledge deepens our sense of connection. All humans alive today descend from the same ancestral populations in Africa. Differences between us are recent adaptations layered upon shared origins. When you look at another person, anywhere in the world, you are seeing a distant relative. This realization softens divisions, and yet, cultural diversity remains one of humanity's greatest strengths. Languages, traditions, cuisines, philosophies, each represents a unique solution to the challenges of living. Evolution thrives on diversity. Variation provides resilience, As technology continues advancing, humans may face new selective pressures. Urban environments may favor different traits than rural ones. Artificial intelligence may reshape labor and cognition. Space exploration may introduce entirely new conditions. Imagine future generations living beyond Earth, adapting to environments unlike anything in our evolutionary past. The story is not finished, it is unfolding now. And even as the pace of cultural change accelerates, biological evolution moves quietly beneath the surface. Mutations arise naturally. Some persist, most fade. Over thousands of years, these tiny shifts accumulate. But for now, in this present moment, you carry within you the imprint of ancient primates, upright walkers, tool makers, artists, farmers, builders, explorers, and innovators. Your heartbeat echoes millions of years of survival. Your hands reflect the dexterity that once shaped stone into tools. Your voice carries the legacy of fireside storytelling. As you relax into this awareness, imagine the vast timeline stretching behind you and ahead of you, a continuous flow of life, adapting, learning, transforming. In the next part, we will gently explore what the future of human evolution might look like, not as science fiction, but as thoughtful possibility grounded in biology and history. For now, breathe slowly. Let your mind settle like calm water. And when you're ready to continue this peaceful journey, stay with us. Subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to carry you softly into what comes next. Before we continue, take a slow, comfortable breath in and let it ease out gently. If this peaceful journey through human evolution is helping you relax, remember to subscribe and stay with us until the very end. There are no adverts here, only a calm, steady voice guiding you through the long arc of our shared story. Now, let us look ahead. The future of human evolution is not a sudden leap into the unknown. It is an extension of patterns already in motion. Evolution has always responded to environment, opportunity, and challenge. What makes this moment unique is that humans now shape many of those forces directly. For most of our history, natural selection was guided by climate, predators, disease, and food availability. Today, technology plays a powerful role in shaping survival and reproduction. Medicine allows individuals with genetic conditions to live long, fulfilling lives and pass on their genes. Vaccines reduce the impact of infectious diseases. Surgical interventions repair injuries that once would have been fatal. These changes soften certain selective pressures, but new pressures emerge quietly. Urban living concentrates millions of people into dense environments. Air quality, stress levels, noise exposure, and artificial light subtly influence health. Diets rich in processed foods alter metabolism. Sedentary lifestyles reshape muscle use and cardiovascular strain. The human body adapts slowly over generations. Imagine distant descendants living in megacities with entirely artificial climates. How might their physiology adjust over thousands of years? Perhaps changes in vision due to prolonged screen exposure. Perhaps shifts in circadian rhythms in response to constant light. It is impossible to predict precisely, but evolution always follows opportunity. Another powerful force shaping the future is gene editing. CRISPR and similar technologies allow scientists to modify specific genes with increasing precision. Already, researchers are exploring ways to eliminate inherited diseases. In the future, more complex changes may become possible. Imagine correcting a mutation before birth, preventing a lifelong illness. The potential for healing is extraordinary. Yet ethical questions accompany such power. If we can enhance certain traits, intelligence, physical strength, resistance to disease, who decides which traits are desirable? How might access to such technology influence social structures? Human evolution, once guided only by natural selection and random mutation, now intersects with deliberate choice. Beyond genetics, artificial intelligence changes how humans think and work. Machines now perform tasks that once required intense human labor, both physical and cognitive. Automation alters employment patterns. Information is accessible instantly. Memory is outsourced to digital devices. The brain, shaped for remembering stories and navigating landscapes, now navigates digital networks. Neuroplasticity allows adaptation. The brain reorganizes itself in response to experience. Future generations raised in fully digital environments may develop cognitive strengths and weaknesses different from those of previous eras. Imagine children growing up with augmented reality, seamlessly blending physical and digital worlds. Their perception of space, time, and communication may differ subtly from ours. Then there is space exploration. Humans have already stepped onto the moon. Probes explore distant planets. Discussions about colonizing Mars are no longer pure fantasy. If humans settle beyond Earth, evolution may take on entirely new dimensions. Different gravity levels would influence bone density and muscle mass. Radiation exposure could increase mutation rates. Isolated populations might diverge genetically over very long periods. Picture a human settlement beneath a dome on Mars. Red dust stretching beyond protective walls. Generations born under lower gravity, adapting slowly to new physical realities. Evolution would continue, just as it always has. Climate change also shapes the future. As global temperatures shift, ecosystems respond. Human populations may migrate once again in response to environmental pressures, much like our ancestors did thousands of years ago. Adaptation may include technological solutions, renewable energy, engineered crops, redesigned cities. But biological responses could occur over longer timescales. Throughout all these possibilities, one constant remains: variation. Genetic diversity is the foundation of evolutionary potential. The more diverse a population, the more resilient it tends to be in the face of change. Global interconnection increases gene flow between populations, blending traits once shaped in isolation. Humanity becomes, genetically speaking, even more interconnected. At the same time, cultural diversity remains essential. Different societies experiment with different social systems, technologies, and values. This cultural variation allows humanity to test many pathways simultaneously. Some ideas flourish, others fade. Cultural evolution moves faster than biological evolution, but both are intertwined. Imagine thousands of years from now. What will humans look like? Will physical differences be subtle? Will technology integrate directly with biology, neural implants, artificial organs, enhanced senses? Already, prosthetic limbs connect to nerves. Cochlear implants restore hearing. Brain-computer interfaces are being researched. The boundary between biological and technological may blur. Yet no matter how advanced we become, our foundation remains ancient. We still require connection. We still seek meaning. We still respond to stories, music, and touch. These traits have deep evolutionary roots. Perhaps the most remarkable feature of human evolution is not physical change, but adaptability. We thrive in deserts and tundras, in forests and cities. We create tools, languages, art, and science. Adaptability is our greatest inheritance. Imagine looking back from the distant future at this moment in time. Our era might appear as a transitional phase, a bridge between purely biological evolution and a more integrated biological, technological existence. But even then, the story would remain continuous. From early primates gripping tree branches, to upright walkers crossing savannas, to artists painting cave walls, to engineers designing spacecraft, each stage flows into the next. There was never a single leap, only gradual transformation. As you relax into these thoughts of possibility, feel the steadiness beneath them. Evolution is not chaotic in the short term. It is patient, measured across generations. You are part of this ongoing process. Your choices influence culture. Culture influences environment. Environment influences future generations. The story is still being written. In the next part, we will gently reflect on what this entire journey means, how understanding human evolution shapes the way we see ourselves and one another. For now, breathe slowly. Let your mind drift through time, past and future, blending into one continuous flow. And when you are ready to continue this peaceful exploration, stay with us, subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to carry you softly toward its closing reflections. Before we continue, take a slow breath in, hold it gently for a moment, and release it without effort. If this calm journey through human evolution has been helping you unwind, remember to subscribe and stay with us until the very end. There are no adverts here, just a steady, peaceful story guiding you softly through deep time. Now, let us pause and reflect. We have traveled from ancient forests to open savannas, from flickering cave fires to glowing city lights, from simple stone flakes to genetic editing tools. And yet, beneath all of these changes, something constant has remained. The human story is one of continuity. Every person alive today carries within them a lineage that stretches back unbroken for millions of years. Not one of your ancestors failed to survive long enough to pass life forward. Through ice ages and droughts, through migrations and conflicts, through quiet seasons of abundance and harsh winters of scarcity, the chain continued. You are the living result of that resilience. Imagine tracing your ancestry not just hundreds of years, but thousands, tens of thousands, back to small bands of hunter-gatherers walking beneath vast skies. Keep tracing further to early farmers planting the first seeds, further still to upright walkers navigating African grasslands, and beyond that, to tree-dwelling primates moving through dense forests. The distance in time is immense, but biologically, the connection is direct. Evolution does not erase the past, it layers upon it. Your spine still reflects the shift to walking upright. Its gentle curves balance the weight of your head above your pelvis. Your hands still mirror the grasping abilities of arboreal ancestors, capable of both strength and delicate precision. Your eyes face forward, granting depth perception once crucial for leaping between branches. Even your emotions carry ancient echoes. Fear once alerted early humans to predators hidden in tall grass. Today, it still activates in moments of uncertainty. Joy strengthened bonds within small communities. Love ensured care for vulnerable offspring. Curiosity encouraged exploration of unknown landscapes. These emotions are not random. They are adaptive tools refined over countless generations. Understanding this can change how we see ourselves. Many modern stresses feel uniquely complex. Deadlines, traffic, digital notifications. Yet the stress response itself is ancient. Our bodies release adrenaline and cortisol, just as they did when early humans faced immediate physical threats. Recognizing this helps us respond with awareness rather than confusion. Our need for social connection is also deeply rooted. For most of human history, isolation was dangerous. Belonging to a group meant safety, shared resources, and cooperation. This is why loneliness can feel so heavy. It touches something ancient within us. Imagine a small group gathered around a fire at night. The warmth of shared presence, the quiet reassurance that others are near. That feeling still matters. Human evolution also reminds us of our shared origin. Genetically, any two humans on Earth are remarkably similar. The visible differences that sometimes divide us, skin tone, facial features, hair texture, are shaped by relatively recent adaptations to local environments. Underneath, we are one species with a common ancestry. The concept of race, as often understood socially, does not reflect deep biological divisions. Instead, it reflects surface-level variation layered upon profound genetic unity. When we recognize this, it becomes harder to see others as fundamentally separate. We are branches of the same tree. Evolution also teaches humility. For most of our existence, humans lived in balance with ecosystems, dependent on their rhythms. Only recently have we gained the power to alter those systems dramatically. Climate change, habitat destruction, and biodiversity loss are reminders that we remain part of the natural world, not outside it. Imagine viewing Earth from space, a small blue sphere suspended in darkness, borders invisible, oceans vast, atmosphere thin and fragile. All human history unfolded within that narrow layer of air. Evolution shaped us for this planet. Our lungs breathe its oxygen. Our bodies are built from its elements, the calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our cells, all forged in ancient stars long before Earth existed. In that sense, evolution connects us not only to primates and mammals, but to the cosmos itself. Every atom in your body has traveled through unimaginable distances of time and space. And yet, here you are, conscious, aware, capable of reflecting on your own origins. That may be one of evolution's most astonishing outcomes. Self-awareness, the ability to ask, where did we come from? Who are we? Where are we going? No other species, as far as we know, contemplates its own evolutionary story with such depth. This awareness brings responsibility. If we understand that cooperation enabled our survival, then cooperation remains essential. If diversity strengthened resilience, then preserving diversity matters. If curiosity drove innovation, then nurturing curiosity continues the pattern. Evolution is not just a biological process, it is a mirror. It shows us that change is constant, that adaptation is possible, that survival often depends on flexibility rather than rigidity. Imagine the first humans who dared to cross unknown terrain. They could not see the full journey ahead. They simply took the next step. Human history is built on countless such steps. As you rest with these reflections, feel the quiet strength of belonging to something vast and ongoing. Your life is one moment in a long continuum, brief in cosmic terms, yet meaningful within the human story. In the final part, we will gently bring this journey to a close, weaving together past, present, and future into one calm understanding of what it means to be human. For now, breathe slowly. Let your thoughts settle like leaves on still water. And when you're ready to continue, stay with us, subscribe, relax, and allow the story of human evolution to carry you softly toward its peaceful conclusion. Before we gently bring this journey to a close, take one slow, deep breath in and release it softly. If this long, peaceful exploration of human evolution has helped you relax, unwind, or drift closer to sleep, make sure you're subscribed so you can return whenever you need. Calm, uninterrupted storytelling. There are no adverts here, only quiet knowledge shared at a gentle pace. Now, let us finish our journey. We began millions of years ago, in warm forests where small primates gripped branches with careful hands. Forward-facing eyes scanned the canopy. Flexible shoulders allowed climbing. Life was simple, immediate, shaped by instinct and environment. From there, change unfolded slowly. Forests thinned, grasslands expanded. Some of our ancestors stepped down from the trees. Their posture shifted, spines curved, hips reshaped. Walking upright freed the hands, and freed hands reshaped destiny. Stone tools appeared, fire flickered in the night. Groups gathered for warmth and protection. Brains grew larger, but more importantly, more connected. Thought became flexible. Imagination awakened. Symbols appeared on cave walls. Stories traveled through spoken language. Humans migrated across continents. They crossed deserts and mountains. They survived ice ages. They adapted to jungles, tundras, and coastlines. Agriculture rooted communities in place. Villages became cities, writing preserved memory, trade connected distant lands, empires rose and fell. Science expanded understanding, industry transformed labor, electricity illuminated darkness, digital networks linked billions of minds. And through every transformation, the thread remained unbroken. You, every heartbeat within you, is the continuation of a rhythm that began long before history was written. Your lungs breathe with a system refined over millions of years. Your hands carry the dexterity of ancient toolmakers. Your mind carries the creativity of cave artists and the curiosity of early astronomers. Evolution is not just a distant past. It is present in the way you think, in the way you feel, in the way you connect with others. Your capacity for empathy reflects the deep social bonds that once ensured survival in small groups. Your imagination echoes the first symbolic thoughts shared beside firelight. Your resilience mirrors countless generations who adapted to uncertainty. And perhaps most beautifully, you are aware of it. A species shaped by evolution now understands evolution. That awareness gives this story a unique stillness. Because when we see ourselves clearly as part of nature rather than separate from it, something softens. The divisions between past and present blur. The boundaries between us and them fade. We are one young species, sharing one planet, carrying one long story. Imagine the timeline of humanity stretched across a vast horizon. For most of it, we walked beneath open skies, guided by stars. Only in the last brief flicker have we built cities, machines, and digital worlds. The modern moment feels enormous to us, but in evolutionary time, it is a whisper. And yet, whispers matter. The choices we make now ripple forward into generations we will never meet, just as the choices of distant ancestors ripple into us. They did not know your name, they did not know the world you would inhabit, but they passed life forward anyway. That quiet continuity is one of the most comforting truths in all of evolution. Life persists. It adapts. It learns. It continues. As you lie here now, breathing slowly, imagine all those ancient landscapes behind you. Forest canopies swaying gently, savannas glowing in golden light, rivers feeding early farms, cities rising beside fertile valleys, ships crossing vast oceans, rockets lifting toward the stars. Each scene flows into the next, and the story is not finished. Human evolution will continue in ways cannot fully predict. Technology may reshape biology. Climate may shift environments. Space may open new frontiers. But the foundation remains the same: cooperation, curiosity, adaptability. These traits carried us through millions of years. They will carry us forward still. And tonight, as you rest, there is something deeply calming in knowing that you belong to this immense continuum. You are not separate from history. You are not outside nature. You are part of an ancient, ongoing process that began long before you and will continue long after. Let that thought settle gently. Feel the weight of your body supported by the earth, the same earth that supported early primates, early farmers, early dreamers. Your story is woven into something vast. And as we close this final chapter, if this calm exploration has brought you even a small sense of peace, remember to subscribe and return whenever you need a quiet place to rest your thoughts. Thank you for taking this slow journey through human evolution. Now, breathe softly. Let your mind grow quiet and allow sleep to come naturally, like the steady unfolding of time itself.